MasterCard applies their technology, products, and services to help create a world where everyone, everywhere has equal access to opportunity. I'm always talking about financial empowerment and sharing the stories of our community, which is why Way Up has collaborated with MasterCard to share how MasterCard's financial tools and resources support communities around the United States. To learn more about how MasterCard's In Solidarity initiative is committed to helping narrow the wealth and opportunity gap, visit mastercard.com/solidarity.
Meet Roger. He's commuting home from work.
I'm stuck on 290. I'm being sustained by Takis and cream soda.
Luckily, Roger saved money on a whole stash of car snacks he got on rollback at Walmart.
Still stuck on 290. Tell Marjorie I won't be home for dinner, and I love her. I just hope our relationship lasts as long as construction on 290.
There are new rollbacks all the time, like that jerky Roger is enjoying. Save more on what Houston needs most, like surviving 290. Welcome to your Walmart.
He broke his ankle.
Throws, it is caught. Touchdown.
Drops back to throw it. Picked up. Touchdown.
Snapped under pressure. Ball is straight.
This is the Mean Gene Show
on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5
from the Veritex Community Bank Studios. Here's Mean Gene.
All right, I almost went into the rap. Pack it up. I was getting ready to go in there to that rap. That was one time in my lifetime I was a rapper. This was like a very short-lived career. I think I was in high school. AJ, not only were you not born, your parents probably wasn't even born.
What year was it?
In 82.
My dad was 1, my mom was 3.
Yeah, that's how long ago. Yeah, see, that's why I went there with that, because, this was funny, just playing around in high school. That's when rap became popular.
Yeah.
All right, second hour of the Mean Gene Show, Jacob Meadows from the Coach's Quarters. Jacob, when you're not here on this show, you're doing your own thing, and I think people need to know about that, man. You don't talk about it this much.
Plug.
You don't never talk about it.
Coach's Quarters. We try to put out a show every Friday. I've
been a guest on there a couple of times.
You sure have. I need to get you back on the show. I love doing shows.
That's the only time I get to shut up and listen. I love it. I just sit back and Jacob has to do all the talking.
It's so much easier being in this seat.
Yeah, it is, ain't it? No one ever invites me to be a guest on their damn show. I hate talking. I like to be able to answer some questions and stuff. But I like the Coach's Quarter. Great show.
We'll have to get you back on. Again, we try to drop every Friday. And, it's fun. It's very similar to this show in spirit, but it is very different just in format-wise. So, it'd be good to tune in.
Informative, entertaining.
Anywhere where you can watch any sort of spot or any sort of podcast or anything like that. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Spotify. I'm on Pandora, Amazon, wherever you can get a podcast.
I need to come on once the Steelers go 6-0. Once we get past separation Sunday,
I'll get you on for that one.
Yeah, I want to come on and talk a little mess. Okay, second hour, Mean Gene Show. We're going to continue with our week 3 scores here, highlights and analysis, and of course, this is the segment where we always get into the what had happened was.
So what had happened was.
What had happened was.
I love that.
Is it the Cowboys? It's the Cowboys again, right? We said we would.
No, the Cowboys came back.
Oh no, who was it? I'm sorry,
man.
AJ.
It's got.
All right, okay, okay. We'll come back to the Texans. I'd like to know from our listeners out there what had happened was. Maybe they got an answer for why the Texans dropped. What was the score? 36-7 or something. Was
35-7?
35-7, 30, but
34-7.
34-7.
We were close. It was in there somewhere.
713-780-3776. I don't know what had happened was. Sometimes the listeners have a perspective on this that we don't have. But anyway, go ahead and give us a call because I'd like to know. You a diehard Texans fan out there. Tell us what had happened was with this team today. We thought that they just maybe was looking ahead to the Jacksonville Jaguars, which right now are no threat because they're winless. But it was just, I don't know, it's just not a good game, man. Anytime those big receivers that we talked about with Dell and Diggs, all those guys didn't have any touchdowns, which is just odd within itself.
Diggs did look good, but yeah, having no touchdowns to because I don't think they didn't have a touchdown to a wide receiver. It was just Cam Akers, wasn't it? Yeah, Cam Akers was the only receiver to get.
Thank God he was available.
Yeah. Thank God.
Because we didn't have
Joe Mixon and Damian Pierce were both
the
out.
team. Yeah. How weird was that?
Some weird freak hamstring injury that just popped up with Damian Pierce.
Yeah.
No telling when Joe Mixon's back. I mean, Cam Akers did look good instead, not on the ground, but he did look good instead in the passing game. So
unbelievable. So they are our what had happened was segment. So just incredible stuff. So tell you what, this hour. As a matter of fact, in the next segment, you're going to hear from Dustin Phifer. Dustin does the Sports King show with me. He also can be heard on Jacob's, the Coach's Quarters podcast.
I have had Dustin on as well.
And he is with Bally Sports Southeast. He's going to come on. I didn't know what kind of conversation we were going to have with Dustin today because we didn't know. There was no way I thought that he didn't, when we did our countdown show this week on our iHeart and Podbean streaming live, we both picked the Raiders. I mean, but then the announcement came out that Andy Dalton would be the rifleman was going to start. So anyway, so Dustin's going to come and talk about that huge win for the Carolina Panthers in the next segment. And of course, we will get you an update here. It appears that there's a touchdown from Mahomes to Rashee Rice, but looks like a flag is down also. So I haven't seen the score change, so I'm not certain what happened there.
Looks like it might be
yeah, it is. And so they did score. So it was a penalty on Atlanta for roughing the passer, which so that's going to be enforced between downs. So that's what we got there. So Mahomes hit Rashee Rice for a 13-yard touchdown. We have a tie ball game as soon as Butker kicks the extra point. How about that? That's so interesting game.
It's a good game so
Sunday
far.
night.
Yeah, I love it. Pat's getting everybody involved. The Falcons look good. They probably could not have picked a better Sunday night matchup. This game is building up to be exactly what it was supposed to be, and it's going to be a tight game throughout unless something crazy happens.
Well, I tell you what. So Butker, the extra point is good. So look, this is what we got here. Kirk Cousins is almost perfect through, what are we in the second quarter? 8:45 left to go in the before half. Kirk Cousins 6 of 7, 68 in the touchdown.
Yep,
146.7 quarterback rating. Now that might drop or it might improve, but
playing a better game than Patrick Mahomes right now.
Yeah, he is. I mean, the numbers, he's just outstanding. So, but anyway, it's still Patrick Mahomes. It's still the defending Super Bowl champs. And, the old saying there in the WWE, if you want to beat a man, you got to beat the man. So AJ, what do you like about Kirk Cousins?
Kirk? Well, from watching the quarterback series, you learn how tough he is, stuff like that, and I also like that he's a man of God. He's a great quarterback you want to play for. So just things like that. And everybody was pooping on him in the first game, but it takes time to come back from an Achilles injury too, though. But I'm glad that they beat the Eagles last week because I don't like them, of course.
Yeah, there's always got to be something in it for you there.
Oh, for sure. But I
know how you feel.
I like them for sure. They definitely have a chance to win the NFC South for sure. I still like the Bucs, but I think they can definitely still make, even if they don't win the division, they can still be a wild card in the NFC.
That division's going to be tough.
Yeah, it is.
That division is, yeah. I mean, look, hey, Carolina gets in the win column.
Yeah,
finally.
all of a sudden, Carolina figured out how to win games.
You get Andy Dalton there for the rest of the year. Who knows?
He could drop 40 points every week. Carolina's a contender,
Cannot wait
baby.
to talk to Dustin Phifer about that. But look, I tell you what, we were in Las Vegas at the Virgin Hotels. And I don't know if you were there that particular day, Jacob, but, they had us right out there in the lobby. Yeah. All the guests and celebrities, everybody's coming up. We can see everybody, right? Mm-hmm. So one Minnesota Vikings fan, she comes up to us and she goes, "Can I say something?" I'm like, "Oh my Lord." And I said, "Yes." With the tone of her voice, I had to say, "Please, no profanity," because I didn't know which. She goes, "Is this live radio?" Yes, ma'am, it is. And she just grabbed the microphone. Kirk Cousins sucked. She was a Vikings fan. So, that was the funniest moment on live radio anyway.
That's funny.
And I wonder how she feels now. I mean, she's probably loving Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold's killing it.
But Kirk Cousins don't suck, though. I mean, Kirk Cousins is playing some pretty good football.
He's been the king of consistency for like the last 6 seasons. I mean, he gives you the exact same season every year. And, I mean, they haven't won a Super Bowl, but he has given you that top 10 quarterback every season for the last couple seasons because he's consistent. He's capable of what he's capable of, and that's it. There's
Definitely,
nothing else.
and he's one of those guys because I was watching. You know my neighbor Joe.
I sure do.
So we're sitting there watching the game Monday night. He comes over, and I tell him, I said, "Okay, Kirk Cousins is going to come back and win this game." And he said, "What? Are you kidding me? I should bet you money. What are you talking about?" I said, "No." I said, "This is perfect. This right? What? 1 minute? Less than a minute."
Yeah.
Like 36 seconds or 40 seconds.
I think it was 46 seconds.
Yeah. Less than a minute. I said, he's going to come back there and win this game.
The captain's back. The captain's back.
He looks at me like, man, what are you doing here? You know, I'm glad I didn't bet you. I mean, it's just because we've seen that from him. We've seen how he can just, he can put up 400 yards easily.
Yeah, easily.
And no matter where he plays, and people forget that he once played with the Washington at the time they were the Redskins. Mm-hmm. Okay.
People forget he was drafted behind RG3 in the same year.
Yeah, I mean, he has really, and not to mention when it comes to getting paid, he's probably one of the smartest guys out there financially when it comes to, structuring his contracts and getting guaranteed money.
I'd say so. Yeah, he pioneered all this guaranteed money nonsense that's going around. Good for him for being the guy that broke through to the other side.
Yeah.
It's going to end up crippling a lot of teams, kind of like the Deshaun Watson contract where they're tied into this contract. It's a mega amount of money and it's all guaranteed. So
I'm trying to see where the Chiefs are trying to go offensively with this game because they are running the ball quite a bit. I've already seen P. Ryan with 25 yards there. Was that a fumble?
That was an incompletion.
Okay.
There's no way that's a
fumble. So, and still the fullback who portrays as what people want to treat him like a running back. Fullbacks don't touch the ball a lot, but this guy, for some reason, he's already got 4 attempts for 13 yards, and of course, Mahomes has ran the ball a little bit there. So, got to keep an eye on this run game here. Was there a Tyler Algier sighting there? That I believe.
Did you see him?
He just ran for 4 yards.
Atlanta's got one of the most interesting running back cores.
So it is, and Robinson, he's 5 attempts for 15. I tell you what, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we are going to talk about that humongous win for the Carolina Panthers today. They do what the Raiders did to the Baltimore Ravens. So Dustin Phifer from Bally Sports Southeast is going to join us next. Stick around. It's the Mean Gene Show right here on ESPN 97.5.
You're listening to the Mean Gene Show
on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
For the Veritex Community Bank Studios, here's Mean Gene.
Welcome back to the Mean Gene Show here. Second hour with Jacob Meadows and our producer, AJ. Look here. I tell you what, so, I do the Sports King show every week, and it's usually Wednesday or Thursday with our next guest here. And, throughout the years, we've had some amazing predictions and stuff, and usually I'm more right than wrong, but we get those times where we both are wrong. And anyway, big win today for the Carolina Panthers. They defeat the Las Vegas Raiders in Las Vegas 36-22. And here to talk about it is the man who covers the Carolina Panthers for Bally Sports Southeast and my Sports Kings co-host, Dustin Phifer. Dustin.
Mean Gene, what's going on? Listen, I guess if I'm going to come on here and you're going to talk about how you're more right than I'm wrong, then I guess I need to bring up the fact, do we need to mention the fantasy football score?
No,
please do.
That's not your segment today, buddy. We talking Panthers. No, yes, let's talk about the fantasy football beatdown. Dustin, I'm getting beat so bad that my loss should count for 2 games. That's how bad it's.
I think actually they would probably call you the Carolina Panthers of fantasy football, except the Panthers actually got a win today.
Oh, man. Go ahead. Yeah, I'm at the bottom of the cellar in that. We're going to give that fantasy football score here in a minute. But look, when we did our NFL Weekly Countdown show on Wednesday, we both, I believe, picked the Raiders to beat the Panthers. Am I correct?
Did pick the Raiders, but I think we both also did say on the show that we did expect to see an improved performance with Andy Dalton at quarterback because we knew the veteran that he was. Now, did we expect him to come out here, play like this, the Panthers score 30-plus points? No, I don't think anybody around the league expected that. So it was a very surprising and impressive performance. I think you got to give a lot of credit to head coach Dave Canales. He has been getting beat up the first 2 weeks, Gene. Man, they shouldn't have hired this guy. He's not supposed to be an NFL coach right now. He wasn't ready. And I think for him to have the guts to make the move to bench Bryce Young after 2 weeks of football says a lot of the pulse he had of this football team. He knew that they had an improved roster with an offensive line. They had more offensive weapons that they brought in, but you couldn't see it because, and again, did the Panthers mess up the confidence of Bryce Young last year? Absolutely. But Bryce Young did not reset this year with a totally new roster, and that showed. And so he knew, hey, we've got guys that can make plays, so we've got to have somebody at the quarterback position that can put them in a position to play. And he did that with Andy Dalton, and Andy Dalton had some throws that looked like Cincinnati Andy Dalton. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting competent football, but not that. And it was a very impressive performance by the Carolina Panthers.
So with what's up, Dustin? By the way, it's Jacob.
What's up, Jacob?
Oh, man. So with the game, what surprised you the most? I mean, even I thought Andy Dalton was going to – I actually thought they were going to win. I told my roommate to bet on this game. I had a sneaky feeling Carolina was going to win this one. But were you more surprised at Andy Dalton's production today, or were you more surprised that the rest of the team just absolutely bought in, right? Chuba Hubbard had a great game. Deontay Johnson did what – he was supposed to do from day one, being brought into Carolina. So were you more surprised by Andy Dalton, or were you more surprised by just the all-around response to Andy Dalton taking the helm?
I think it was more around the all-around response. Again, Andy Dalton, I think Gene and I both have said on the show that he's probably one of the better backups in the league. Yeah. So he can probably come in for a game or two and really be able to perform. Now, if he's going to do it long-term for a full season at his age, he is a little older, we'll have to see that. But I think we knew he could come in and at least understand the offense. And I just think it was the overall response, and that's what I was mentioning to start the segment, is that the young head coach like Dave Canales, to have the pulse of the locker room, to know, hey, I've got 52 other guys in here. I know Bryce Young, there's a big story in Carolina because, yes, he's the number one pick. They gave up a ton for him, so they got to see what they have in him. But when he's playing like that and you can't evaluate the rest of the roster, you can't evaluate the changes you made on the offensive line. Let's not forget they spent $100 million in guards. And they have actually been pretty good for 3 weeks, but you can't tell because of the awful quarterback play. Yeah. Yep. Let's not forget, like you said, they brought in Deontay Johnson. They still had Adam Thielen. They drafted Xavier Legette, who had a big play today. They did all these things to upgrade the offense. Chuba Hubbard last week, Jacob, in a terrible loss a terrible performance, averaged 6 yards a carry, but he only got to carry the ball 10 times because they trailed the entire game because of the quarterback play. Yeah. So they've actually been running the ball well. The offensive line's been playing well. And when you finally get a quarterback, and again, I'm not out on Bryce. I think he could still have a good career in the NFL, but right now his confidence is shot, and he's not ready to play starting quarterback football in the NFL. So whether that's a break for a few weeks, a break for the rest of the year, if Andy Dalton continues to play well, he needs to reset and sit back and watch some football, and that showed with Andy Dalton coming in and playing today. And you saw the veterans step up around him. I mentioned the offensive line. How about Jadeveon Clowney? You brought him in. He's a veteran. He got a sack. These guys responded to the move that Dave Canales made, and that's big for a first-year head coach.
Well, look, I can tell you this. I know Andy Dalton personally because being in that AFC North with those Cincinnati Bengals for all those years, I used to hate the redhead guy. Not to mention, I watched him play at TCU. So, Andy Dalton has haunted me for a long time. And the fact that it's just something about the projections out there today that Deontay Johnson was going to have a big game. Yeah. And you knew and I know that Bryce Young just hasn't been able to make this happen here. And I told Dustin too on Sports King's show that, I just wish that, they would, because Dustin, we talked about this. Me and Jacob talked about this on the way riding down here. That the scoring touchdowns have dropped over the last couple of years, And, where I think 2019 or 2020 or so, they were maybe, at 120, 130. Now I think through week 3, they're down in the 60s here. And that's because of these young rookie quarterbacks that are starting.
Absolutely. And a couple of stats to throw out there for that, Gene, is that how about Andy Dalton is the only quarterback in the NFL this year to have 300 yards passing and 3 TDs in a game. Now think about that.
Yeah.
If you started the NFL season, who would you think the first quarterback to have 300 yards and 3 TDs? That would be a Mahomes. That would be a Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Whoever. It's Andy Dalton. So that just shows you that, yes,
the guy's ready, man.
The TDs, everything have been down this year, but that's just an impressive performance. And a couple other things real quick for the Panthers. Again, you mentioned Deontay Johnson. You know him in Pittsburgh, Gene. He was up and down. But one thing we do know is he can get open, and he's a separator. And he had a career high 124 yards.
Man, look at those targets, 14 targets. Yeah. This was a game plan.
Peppered.
Yeah. They knew exactly what they wanted to do. Look, he gets 4. The nearest person that, I'm looking at Mingo, 4 targets, Trimble, 3 targets, Thielen, I know he got hurt, 5 targets, but this was all about Andy Dalton and Deontay Johnson.
This is a revenge.
And listen, and that goes back to evaluating the roster. Deontay Johnson's in a contract year, and they brought him in to be the offensive weapons last year were terrible. So they brought him in to be kind of that number one guy and be a separator. And again, when the quarterback can't get it done, you can't evaluate a guy like that. So they had to make that change. And the last stat I'll give, first time since 2022, guys, that they had a 300-yard passer, a 100-yard rusher, and a 100-yard receiver. I mean, so that just shows they didn't just come in and dink and dunk and game manage the football. They put up one of the best offensive performances as a team in the NFL. And if you asked anybody going into this week, they wouldn't have said that about the Carolina.
No, I mean, look, they dominated this game, time of possession, 36 minutes to the Raiders, 23 minutes. When you look at the net rushing yards there, 131 to 55. Could not understand why Zamir White couldn't get into this game. And I guess once you fall behind, you abandon the run and you go pass heavy there. But this was a major loss, big loss for the Raiders.
Yeah, and one quick note on the Raiders, Gene, how fast it goes from riding high to riding low. They're in Baltimore, they get that big win. They come home and they have a performance like this against the Panthers, who is considered one of the bottom teams in the league. And I don't know if you heard Pierce's quote after the game, but he said a lot of his guys out there made business decisions in this game, and so from now on, they're going to make business decisions when they decide who to play. So I know the locker room heard that, and that's probably not going to sit well with some veteran guys like Devontae Adams. So it went from the Raiders riding high now to, man, what's going to happen to them going forward?
I hope they don't collapse. That's actually a really good point. I missed that presser with AP saying that. That's going to be wild to see how that resonates with the vets in the locker room.
Yeah, and I told you, Gene, I think, and I'm not there covering the Raiders, but I think if somehow this goes sideways and they lose a few in a row, I don't see how Devontae Adams stays on that roster.
No shot. He'll be gone by the deadline. But, hey, Dustin, I've got one more question for you out of me. All those reports came out this morning that, Bryce Young may have trade suitors. You being there in person in Carolina, how do you feel? Do you really think that that's going to hold weight at all? Or here early on, you think that that's just more smoke and Bryce Young's probably staying in Carolina and he's going to take another shot at rebuilding his career after a year and a year and a 6?
I got to be honest with you, Jacob. I go back and forth on this one. My personal opinion is I wouldn't trade him right now. Again, I don't think you're going to get too much in return for the way he's been playing and as much as you gave up for him. I say maybe even if he has to sit a few weeks, if Dalton keeps playing well, you still got him there. Let him sit and learn some football even if he sits. But I will say this. I think I read that they maybe already turned down 4 trade offers again because they're probably not getting anything in return. Like 6th-round pick, that does nothing for me. A 6th-round, 5th-round pick, it would have to be a 3rd or a 4th-round pick for me even to consider it. But one thing I will say to keep an eye on is the Miami Dolphins because the Miami Dolphins have already been interested in Bryce Young. Mike McDaniel, we know, is a quarterback offensive guy, so they think he maybe could do something with him. And with Tua hurt, and now the backup, Skylar Thompson going down, now they're on their 3rd quarterback. So do the Dolphins get desperate and up that pick to maybe try to get Bryce Young? That's one thing I would keep an eye on. But I'm inclined to say they don't want to trade him right now unless the team gets desperate and starts to up that offer.
That makes sense.
Hey, Dustin, man, look here. It's always a pleasure to have you on the show, even though we're going to get real this week when we do the Sports King show. We might even bring Jacob in there.
Hey.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, because I don't know what I did as far as the picks today, but I don't know. Usually when I come here, I done change my mind anyway. because I can do that. But look here, I tell you what, let me be the first one to tell you that the Panthers are one game out of first place in the NFC South.
That's right, the NFC South. You never know what's going to happen with that division. We talked about the Bucs looking good, and now look how terrible they look today. You never know what's going to happen with that division. So I know y'all are talking about the Texans and that performance today, so I'll definitely be listening.
Yeah.
But I also will be listening in, Gene, to make sure you announce this fantasy football score live on air.
Okay, I'm going to do it. I have no shame other than I'm just getting my ass whooped right now, but it's all good. Hey, Dustin, man, we'll see you back on here real soon, and I'll see you this week on the Sports King Show.
Hey, sounds good. Appreciate it, guys.
All right, Dustin Phifer joining us from Charlotte, North Carolina. Covers the Carolina Panthers and the Charlotte Hornets. So he's getting ready for NBA, too, coming up here. And we have the flip-flop here. I hate when the NBA season starts in the middle of the NFL.
Yeah.
It's hard to catch up.
It is hard to catch up.
It is. So speaking of catching up, it's the bottom of the second hour. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we got more scores and highlights from week 3 of the NFL, including an update on what's happening in Atlanta. It's the Mean Gene Show right here on ESPN 97.5.
This is the Mean Gene Show
on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
From the Veritex Community Bank Studios, here's Mean Gene.
All right, we're at the bottom of the second hour here on the Mean Gene Show, ESPN 97.5. Sunday night, we are here every Sunday night from 7 to 9 p.m. And look, we are delayed sometimes because of the Cowboys coverage here on this station. And occasionally we might move around if the Texans are playing a Sunday night game. So there will be a couple of shows in October where the Dallas Cowboys have a Sunday night game and we will not be on the air. So I have to wait until the following week to talk all that trash about how they lost. That sucks within itself.
Shout out, AJ.
But anyway.
You're not going to lose every game.
Yeah, I know. I expect them to lose all 3 of those Sunday night games because my ass won't be here. And because they inconveniencing me, then I have to come back and get them the following week. Hey, we got a lot of activity in the ESPN chat room. Shout out to Fred and Hamp, Hitman, all these guys listening.
Yeah, shout out to Mario Falcone. Good out Timothy Hampton. Shout out Bobby Hitman.
Yeah.
Fred Farley.
That's Fred. Yeah. Fred's a good guy. Yeah, he's a good friend of mine. All of those guys are friends of mine. Some of those other guys I don't know, so it's always nice to have
new listeners, baby. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember one time, long time ago, I was on the air. People stumbled up on me by mistake. Said, man, we was looking for the country station. We heard your ass talking. So we are all on board. Look, let's get you up to date on what's happening with the Sunday night game here. The Falcons are winning 14-10. There's 2 minutes left to go in the first half. So right now that means the 2-minute warning. Mm-hmm. And just to get you caught up on how the Falcons have scored these touchdowns, John Robinson has a touchdown there. He's 8 attempts, 18 yards with a TD. And the other touchdown, of course, was the wide open pass to Drake London, which was a 14-yard pass from the one we call Kirk Cousins. Now, the Chiefs are not to be – look, Mahomes' numbers are looking a lot better than they were.
He's cleaning it up.
Yeah, he's cleaning it up here. 15-21, 115 yards, touchdown, interception there. The touchdown came a 17-yard pass to Rashee Rice. And, of course, the Butker field goal and – looks like a flag on that play there. So
hopefully Atlanta drives. Imagine Atlanta going up 21-10 at halftime, then coming out and get the ball. I mean, Atlanta really could take this game.
I want them to take this game. I think anybody that's in the AFC West want it to be close. If you can make it tough you just don't want the Chiefs to run away with this division.
And then you can't do anything too quickly, right? You can't score too quickly or punt too quickly because it gives the Chiefs way too much time to come back and do something else.
And because they are just that good. So that's what's happening there, and we will continue to. I don't know if this game look like this game is still going to be going on when we leave the show. So we'll update you all the way up to the last minute. But there were more games in the NFL. We're going to talk about this one right here, and that's the Miami Dolphins and the Seattle Seahawks. So don't blink. Do not blink. The Seahawks are 3-0 after defeating the Miami Dolphins 24-3. How about Charbonnet? Man, this guy lit it up today because there was no Kenneth Walker. Charbonnet, 18 attempts, 91 yards, 2 touchdowns for the young man out of UCLA. And Geno Smith, completed 26 of 34, 289 yards, had 2 picks, didn't hurt him that bad. Couldn't tell by the score. Man, but the 71-yard bomb he hit to Metcalf. Oh, my Lord.
Mark on that ball was nuts. The defenders were nowhere to be found. Like, DK sped past everybody. It just did not matter.
Yeah, Metcalf is pretty cool. He does a lot of movies now. He's doing a whole lot of things. Yeah,
really?
Because I saw him in a movie, and I like, whoa, that is him. You know, he was on the series Bel Air, the new series Bel Air. DK Metcalf.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. So he's getting out there. He's doing more commercials. Tell you what, Dolphin fans, not only did you lose Tua Tagovailoa for, I think it's probably going to be for the season. I can't confirm that, but Skylar Thompson went down today. He was 13 of 19, 107 yards, no touchdowns there. They had to bring in Borrell to relieve him. So this Miami Dolphins team, man, they are 1-2. It's not going to get any better. But I think all props should be given to the Seahawks, who are rarely talked about for a 3-0 team. They are there with the Vikings at 3-0.
And that Seattle's response to losing Kenneth Walker has been so good. They brought Zach Charbonnet in last season, and he spelled Kenneth Walker, but it wasn't anything great. But Charbonnet has been very, very serviceable this season for the Seahawks. So this has been great for them. It's allowed the Seahawks to really spread the ball out because they don't have to worry about not having a run game, right? So you're still allowed to use your play actions off of the run. You're still allowed to stretch the field because there is no deficit at the run game. That is a well-oiled machine, that Seahawks offense right
and
now.
When you look at how Geno Smith spreads the ball around, we just talked about that, the Deontay Johnson and the Rifleman, how he was the target. He was the whole game plan.
Yeah,
he was the game plan.
Had as many as
right.
them.
But when you look at 6 targets for Metcalf, 6 targets for Fant, the tight end, 8 targets for Lockett, who was targeted more, and Jigba, Smith,
3 for Jackson Smith and Jigba,
and Charbonnet even had. Yeah. So this is, look, you got a new coach there in Seattle, man.
First-year coach,
a first-year coach, 3-0. Remarkable, just simply remarkable there, and not to mention that defense that still gets it done there for the Seahawks. But great win there, and wow, cannot wait to see how they match up with the 49ers when they play. That's gonna be a good one here. And speaking of that NFC West, how about we look at the Detroit game here? And this was a great game because Arizona had been playing great football there. Today was probably not one of those great games. But how about the Detroit Lions? They go to State Farm Stadium, I think that's what they call that down there in Phoenix, and in a close game, they defeat the Cardinals 20-13. And the Detroit Lions are 2-1. So that NFC North is jam-packed. Mm-hmm. Even the Bears got a win. Everyone has a win.
Everybody's winning now.
In that division. But you got the Vikings are undefeated. You have the Lions are 2-1. Mm-hmm. I think the Bears are 1-2, if I'm not mistaken.
Bears are 1-2, and the Pack is.
And I think the Pack is 2-1.
The Bears are 2-1. Remember, they beat the Titans.
Oh, they did beat the. They lost today.
Yeah, but they lost to the Colts.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, right. So
that's why I'm behind.
So yeah, AJ, you know what? When the Cowboys lose a game, I know you sometimes things just go haywire.
That's true.
but it's making up for a good NFC North, and I think I wasn't really impressed with the Lions' play of even the last couple of games, but this was a better game. Montgomery, the workhorse, getting it done there.
Chicago misses him, by the way.
Yeah, they should miss him because they have no running backs right now. The Bears do. None that are getting it done anyway.
I couldn't name one Chicago fan that wouldn't trade Khalil Herbert and DeAndre Swift to have
Montgomery back, which was a crazy trade to begin with. And that happened as a result of so much turnover in management with the Bears.
Chicago
and
Bears,
this is what happens here. But look, like to see that Jared Goff has got back on track because he was not on track the week before.
No, not at all. This was a good bounce back game. I mean, he wasn't perfect by any means, and he did not light up that stat sheet, but he did play much better. He managed the game much better, and they were able to get the victory at the end of it. So, I mean, Jared Goff did have a much improved game over last week.
Yeah, so, I mean, things will get interesting. This was a good NFC matchup because, when it comes down to conference standings and, of course, you get close to those wild card teams. This was a good win, but we had talked about Kyler Murray had really played well. Not so much today. 21-34, 207. Had a touchdown. Had a pick there. Marvin Harrison targeted 11 times there. He goes off for with 5 receptions, 64 yards, and a touchdown. Man, way to target the rookie. I can't remember the last time a rookie was targeted that much.
No, not at all. And it does look, there was that week where everybody came out and they got mad at Kyler because he didn't target Marvin Harrison Jr. at all. And now it does look like he has taken over as that number one. But
he will be, yeah.
Michael
the
Wilson.
Next Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Michael Wilson and Marvin Harrison Jr. may be the wide receiver duo for the Arizona Cardinals for a while. Michael Wilson he's young as well. He's not a rookie. He's not a second year, but he is young and he is good.
Yeah,
and
still a good team there. Yeah. I mean, it's just
Arizona's got a squad. They are going to be so much better than what they were last season, and the year over year is what you have to pay attention to for them.
Cannot wait the separation Sunday.
Man, I'm saying
because you're seeing it. It's a slow process right now, but you feel it coming. You feel that. We want to get excited about these unbeaten teams. I definitely love to think that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to go. They went 10-1 or 10. I think they won 10 games in a row one time, and then that was the same year that the Cleveland Browns beat the brakes off of them in the playoffs. So sometimes you don't want to be unbeaten.
Yeah,
I remember the Patriots had the unbeaten
and then lost the Super Bowl.
So it's just crazy stuff. But anyway. We're going to take a break, come back with our final segment there. We will get you ready for the 2 Monday night games tomorrow. We still got to break down the 49ers and the Rams game and an update from Atlanta. It's the Mean Gene Show right here on ESPN Radio.
You're listening to the Mean Gene Show
on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
For the Veritex Community Bank Studios, here's Mean Gene.
From 37 to wins, the rookie with the right foot, kick off away, and it's a party at SoFi Stadium. 27-24.
Sounds like that's where we should have been.
No
at
kidding.
SoFi Stadium today. Anytime the NFC West play each other, you never know what to expect. This was a hell of a game. The Rams defeat the 49ers 27-24. 49ers are 1-2. Rams are 1-2. The Seahawks are the top of the division, and I believe the Cardinals are 1-2.
They're also 1-2.
So this is crazy. But Jacob, what's more crazy about this game is that the 49ers outplayed the Rams the entire game. Look, Brock Purdy, 22 completions, 30 attempts, 292 yards, 3 touchdowns, a quarterback rating of 137.1. 3 of those touchdown passes went to Jawan Jennings. This was Jordan Mason, the guy that replaces
CMC.
CMC.
He had a good game.
So when you look at the stats on this, you wondering how the hell they lost this game.
It had to have been it was all field position. Like it was all special teams. The Rams were put in a position to succeed more often than not. They didn't need the yards that the 49ers did. But this was a crazy game, Gene. No point, while watching this game, at no point did I think that the Rams are going to overtake the Niners. And
it actually came down to that field goal.
It came down to the final second. What a magical ending for the Rams. This is shaped up to be my favorite rivalry.
I mean, wait a minute. When I say a crazy game, we just gave you the stats of the 49ers there. Time of possession, 33-26. Okay. They had 25 first downs to the Rams, 19. So I'm trying to figure out everything. When you look at the total net yards, they had 425 to the Rams, 296. So how did they lose this game?
Some of that might be penalty yards. The 49ers had 288 total. Yeah, 288. No, I'm looking at the wrong thing. 111 total penalty yards. Sorry about that.
Seven flags there.
For LA.
I mean, not that bad.
It's not that big
but
of a
when
difference.
You look at this, though, turnovers, they only had the one turnover. I mean, that could make a difference. A critical turnover that made it close at the end, and you saw the kick there by Cardi, 37-yard field goal to win the game. I mean, the 49ers, we're talking about a team that, coming off this, I mean, they could have that post-Super Bowl slump there, hangover as they call it, and I would want to think we will find out how good the Seattle Seahawks are and how bad the 49ers are when those two meet for a good NFC showdown.
Hopefully
NFC West showdown.
Hopefully the 49ers can get a little healthier. I mean, at a certain point, you can only lose so much talent and still be able to reel off victories. I mean, this was a really close division rivalry game. It was within 3 points. The 49ers are still without all-world running back Christian McCaffrey. They still don't have Deebo Samuel back. They still have injuries on the defense. So, it was a good game by the Niners. But, yeah, I'm really hoping that they can get a little healthier so that we can see a Seattle v. San Francisco healthy matchup to see who's actually the king of this division.
Yeah. Interesting. Really interesting. I cannot wait to see that, too, because, I mean, this division is really, really, really competitive. It looked like it's going to be that way this year. Big win for the Rams, who looked like they were just going in a complete opposite direction. Not the best game from Cousins. I mean, not Cousins. Stafford, yeah.
A win's a win. Hey, It's a dub at the end of the day.
All right, so we will get you an update on what's happening in Atlanta. It looks like it's a 14-13 game now because it looked like Mr. Butker kicked a 44-yard field goal. They're getting ready to go into the half now. So halftime, that's going to be your halftime score, by the way. The Atlanta Falcons with a 1-point lead over the Chiefs, 14-13. So it should be an interesting second half there. Andy Reid is one of those guys that can make the adjustments probably better than anybody. And it seems like the Chiefs played better second half football anyway.
They are a second half team, which is disgusting because they're so good in the first half also in a lot of games. They are a second half team. This is going to be the true first test that we're going to see Kirk Cousins really have to duel it out, right? It's going to be neck and neck unless the Chiefs take the lead. We're going to be able to see if Atlanta's going to be able to hold, albeit a small one, but hold this lead through the second half and beat the reigning Super Bowl champions.
Yeah, so I tell you what, we cannot wait. We will certainly watch it. I think when we leave here, we have to kind of
whole ride home.
We got to watch it. Yeah, yep. We got to see what's going on. Okay, so got some fantasy football numbers for you. Saquon Barkley, I think, probably was the top dog today, if I'm not mistaken. Malik Neighbors had a good fantasy football day. Amari Cooper had a great football day. If you had him in your fantasy lineup, Dallas Goedert had a great day. Jonathan Taylor, Aaron Jones, Cole Kmet.
Malik Willis is the 8th highest fantasy player.
Yeah,
Gotta love it.
Yeah, I mean, just some of these numbers that you wouldn't expect to see. But Cole Kmet's been out there for a while. AJ, you do pretty good today on fantasy football?
In my ESPN league, I'm winning like 140 to 70 something, and that gave me like 52 points. So, I mean, they lost, but
that comeback was so helpful for you.
Yeah.
It was bad in the beginning.
Yeah, for sure. And my Yahoo League, I started the Cowboys defense. I'm never starting them again. I'm just going to keep the Jets out there.
I started the Texans defense in 3 legs today. It just got burned.
So,
I feel it.
Dustin Phifer wanted me to share with everyone our matchup here. Dustin, his name is Too Legit to Quit, which is appropriate for the ass whooping that I'm taking right now. Of course, I'm MeanGene here. I am getting beat 150-60. And I don't know. I got Jamar Chase, I think, tomorrow night. Look, just go ahead, AJ.
He almost has you beat by a century.
He does. He does. So, okay, I said it. But I'm in 3 leagues, okay? I'm winning the other 2. So that's all that matters.
The league that really matters. We buried me all season long,
really?
Man.
You damn right this league matters. This is my league that I can't even get out of the cellar. Unbelievable. But I am winning my other 2 leagues, so I'm happy about that. 2 Monday Night Football games. Don't ask me why. It won't be long here before the NFL gets into the bye weeks here. But there will be 2 Monday Night Football games, and that first one is going to be the Jacksonville Jaguars looking for their first win of the season. They travel to Buffalo. So they got an winless team that's going on the road to face a team that is unbeaten. And this is also an AFC key matchup here. Mm-hmm. Jaguars are trying to prevent from going 0-3. They're right now they're 3rd place in the AFC South. And Buffalo seems to be the real deal in the AFC. They want to join the Pittsburgh Steelers as 3-0 in the AFC.
That's probably the biggest surprise of the season to me after all the defections from Buffalo. The fact that they're 2-0 and have looked as incredible as they are has been wild. Like they look good. They didn't skip a beat, and they lost almost every starter on their defense. So many people are gone.
I'm just surprised. Yeah, I know. I mean, we talked about it before the season. Yeah, you get rid of Gabe Davis, you get rid of Stephon Diggs, and
Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde, Matt Milano's out for the year. Yeah. Like Buffalo is beat up.
How do they get it done? So, I like Buffalo to win this game tomorrow. I think that's a no-brainer, right, for anybody.
I also think Buffalo. They're probably going to lose because we both took them, but Buffalo's got it.
Well, if I'm going to get beat 150-60 in my fantasy football, I'm okay. I need somebody else to join me in that loser's bracket. And the second game here, these games start, the Washington Commanders at the Cincinnati Bengals starts 45 minutes later. Okay, so if you got 2 TVs, if you can get the 2 TVs, I would try to do something split it if you can. But the Bengals are looking for their first win of the season. It's Joe Burrow, their last place in the AFC North. And the Commanders, right now, sit at 2nd place in the NFC East there. So this is going to be don't shake your head, AJ. I see.
I am. They're going to end up being.
But it's true. I'm only giving true information out.
What I say earlier in the show? Week 3.
Okay, but they're 2nd place. So I got the Bengals winning this game. I think we might see a breakout performance from Joe Burrow tomorrow night.
I'm very 50-50 on this game. My heart tells me that I want to pick the Washington Commanders to beat the Bengals. But the way the Bengals looked last week, I'm in agreement with you. I think the Bengals win it. But I also think that's the obvious pick, and it's probably going to be the Commanders. Again, just like the other game, the Buffalo-Jacksonville game, I think because we're taking Cincinnati, Washington's going to win. But honestly, I think that this one's going to be a lot closer than Jacksonville and Buffalo, and I think Washington might get it, but I'm going to go Cincinnati with Eugene.
Yeah, I think we just need to kind of be caution there. So anyway, all right, folks, enjoy both Monday Night Football games. We'll see you back here next week with more scores, highlights, and analysis from Week 4 of the NFL season right here on the MeanGene Show with Jacob Meadows and AJ. ESPN 97.5. Good night.
To make switching to the new Boost Mobile risk-free, we're offering a 30-day money-back guarantee.
So why wouldn't you switch from Verizon or T-Mobile?
Because you have nothing to lose. Boost Mobile is offering a 30-day money-back guarantee.
No, I asked why wouldn't you switch from Verizon or T-Mobile?
Oh.
Wouldn't.
Because you love wasting money as a way to punish yourself because your mother never showed you enough love as a child?
Whoa. Easy there.
Yeah.
Applies to online activations. Requires port in and auto pay. Customers activating in stores may be charged non-refundable activation fees.
What's up, guys? It's the champ, Sean O'Malley, here to talk to you about Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best place to win real money while watching football. Create a lineup, pick more or less on at least 2 players. You can combine players from multiple sports: football, basketball, MMA, soccer, you name it. We got it. Prize Picks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When my lineups hit, I can get my money as quick as 15 minutes. Prize Picks invented the flex play, so you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit.
Right now, Prize Picks will give you $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Just download the Prize Picks app and use code GOAL. That's code GOAL on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play a $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
What's up, y'all? It's Drewski, here to talk about Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best place to win real money while watching football. The app is real simple to use. Pick 2 or more players and pick more or less on their projection. Prize Picks puts their members first. All withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When my lineup hits, I can get my money in less than 15 minutes. Prize Picks invented the flex play. On Prize Picks, you can mix and match players on different sports, which means you can still cash out even if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. Prize Picks is the only daily fantasy app with injury insurance. If one of your players go down in the first half, Prize Pick does not count as a loss.
Right now, Prize Picks will give you $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Just download the Prize Picks app and use code GOAL. That's code GOAL on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play a $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.